One of the most overlooked creative forces involved in movie production is unquestionably Hollywood's army of stunt performers. But the thing is that we're not actually meant to see them, so sometimes directors have had to get quite creative in how they hide them. So let's take a look. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 7 clever ways that movies hid their stunt doubles. Number 7. Conan the Barbarian uses a wide shot to cover up Arnie's stunt double. Now, in some instances, the filmmakers know that they won't be able to get away with snapping a close or mid shot of their actor's stunt double, often because, even with impeccable lighting and framing, the two bodies or faces just simply don't match well enough, and the audience will be able to tell when the double is in the shot. And this was indeed the problem of 1982's Conan the Barbarian, purely because Arnold Schwarzenegger was such a huge dude that it proved impossible to find a stunt double who had the same bulging muscles and godlike stature as him. So because of his unique physical appearance, Arnie had to do much of his own stunts for most of the movie. But when the time came to shoot a particularly dangerous horse riding scene, the actor refused, because he was worried that he would actually drop the other actor in question. So his stunt coordinator stepped up instead. But understandably, his body looked nothing like Arnie's. So what did they do? Well, as revealed by the hulking Austrian on an episode of Radio 1's Movies That Made Me, the crew filmed the stunt using a distant wide shot so that the double was as far away from the camera as possible. Number 6. Penelope Cruz's male stunt double was covered by a helmet in Zoolander 2. Have you ever been watching a vehicle chase and noticed that you can't see anybody's face? Everybody just seems to drive with their windows wound up, every car seems to have blacked out windows, and everyone who rides a bike always seems to be wearing a helmet. Now, obviously, safety first, and that is good, but also, it's a clever way of disguising the fact that that is not the celebrity that you think it is riding that bike. And this method was put into practice in Zoolander 2. With motorcycle riding being such a difficult skill, Cruz was unable to complete many of her shots by herself, and so the use of a stunt double was required. But what's funny about the whole thing is that Cruz's double was a long-haired, bearded man. On-set photos of the double sporting a skin-tight red leather outfit were snapped while the movie was in production, and the poor guy doesn't look to be too chuffed with his character's decidedly feminine costume. Needless to say, the helmet was an essential bit of kit here, but while you're actually watching those scenes, you really don't think twice about who's underneath the visor. Number 5. John Wick Chapter 2 exploited change blindness to make you think Keanu Reeves did everything. Now, hand-to-hand fights are one of the most difficult things to get right, especially when it comes to hiding a stunt double, and the John Wick films, which pride themselves on their melee brawls, have needed to get creative in order to combat this problem. Fortunately, star man Keanu Reeves is more than willing to put in the necessary training time to be able to do most of his own stunts. Still, he can't do everything, no matter how hard he works, and so professional help was needed on certain occasions. Take, for example, the opening car chase / warehouse smackdown in John Wick Chapter 2. Now, in this scene, Reeves did pretty much all of the action, but as revealed by the movie's second unit director, the moment when Wick is rammed by a taxi required the use of a sharply dressed stunt double. Now, this is an example of a technique that, intentionally or not, the John Wick movie uses often to mask their stunt doubles, and it's called change blindness. In relation to movies and movie stunts, this basically means that when you see an actor performing a stunt, you'll be tricked into believing that the very next shot is also that actor, even if it's clearly not. So during the warehouse scene, we can clearly tell it's Keanu Reeves throwing all of those punches and pulling off those car moves, but when the taxi stunt arrives and Reeves' double enters the frame, we still believe that it is Reeves, because hey, we just saw him do all of that other crazy stuff. Pretty clever, right? Number 4. Stunt double robots. Now, this entry is cheating a little bit because it hasn't been used in any movies yet, but it's an impressive technology that could make its way to Hollywood in the near future. Now, in recent years, Disney has created stunt double robots called Stuntronics, machines that can perform jumps, flips, and landings in incredibly lifelike fashions, nailing their stunts every single time. Now, these robots were developed for use at Disney's theme parks, but because of how closely the company is tied to the movie biz, there's speculation that Stuntronics could also become a part of the filmmaking process. The best thing about such a development would be the fact that robots obviously cannot sustain injuries. I mean, they can break, sure, but where a human stunt double could shatter a bone, tear flesh, or worse, even die on the job, with a machine, there's none of that risk, and the on-screen result would stay the same. Of course, being realistic, we should probably destroy these robots before they all go Skynet on us, but until they show signs of sinister intent, the Stuntronics could be a game changer in terms of how action scenes are planned and filmed in the future. Number 3. Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle created digital stunt doubles of its own actors. A modern solution to a decades-old problem, one advanced, expensive way that some movies hide their stunt doubles is by using digital versions of the actors. And because of how good CGI and effects technology is these days, it's often hard to distinguish the digital construct from the real actor. A few great examples can be found in Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, which featured computer-generated versions of Dwayne Johnson, Karen Gillan, and Kevin Hart, and they blend seamlessly into the final product. I mean, seriously, look at this footage. That's mad. Number 2. CGI was used to cover stunt doubles' faces in Jurassic Park. Even with impeccable planning, it may still be glaringly obvious that the double is in the shot. Their body shape or hair might give them away, or, as was the case with Jurassic Park, their face might pass in front of the camera for a few brief frames, which is enough time to pull the viewer right out of the experience. Now, during the sequence where the main characters crawl through a vent inside the main complex, Lex is momentarily knocked out of said vent when a raptor head bashes one of the ceiling panels, causing her to fall. Now, this small stunt was performed by the stunt double of Ariana Richards, the actress who played Lex. Unfortunately, the double accidentally looked straight into the camera before climbing back into the vent, and since she doesn't look anything like Richards, something needed to be done. So the VFX team digitally replaced the double's face with Richards' face, and the result is simply unnoticeable unless you already know it's there, which we've probably just highlighted for you, so you're welcome. And number 1, Whiplash utilized close-ups of a stunt double playing the drums. Now, movie stunts don't just revolve around car chases and melee fights. Real-life skills that could be tough or even impossible for the actor to learn on a tight schedule also require the use of a stunt double in some cases. Take 2014's intense tale of ambition, perseverance, and jazz, Whiplash. Since the focal point of the film is the drumming ability of the protagonist, the drumming scenes had to be convincing, or else the drama would simply fall flat. And to give the actor Miles Teller a lot of credit, the majority of the drumming in the film was actually done by him, something that was only possible after he spent months training with a coach. But it simply wasn't possible for him to pull off every single shot in the film, and so the crew enlisted the help of a drum double to fill in those gaps. During the bombastic finale specifically, editor Tom Cross had to use a few clever tricks to blend the footage of Teller with that of the double. This is what he had to say. There's a moment with the drum double playing with a close-up of drumsticks slowing down and speeding up on a snare drum where I had to do jump cuts to sync up with the drum hits. Any of the shots in the final scene that feature a set of hands or a set of drumsticks, i.e. the shots where you don't see Teller's face, could easily be the double, and these small moments seamlessly blend in with the rest of the scene beautifully. The fact that we actually see a lot of Teller no doubt helped mask the fact that he wasn't present 100% of the time, which is another example of change blindness, and it all came together to create one of the best movie endings of the decade. So job well done indeed. And there we go, my friends. Those were 7 clever ways that movies hid their stunt doubles. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice with a C, where I do all of my streaming, Warhammer battle reports, and other board game content outside of work. So if you want to check that out, I'd love to see you over there. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're treating yourself with love and respect. Be a big legend. Go out there and absolutely smash it today, because I know that you've got it within you to do well and achieve your life goals today. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.